All right, guys, welcome back. So it has been a long time since I put out a video here on the channel, but this will be the first time that I'm home for more than 24 hours in over a month. So thank you to everybody for sticking around, channel members and subscribers alike. I really do appreciate you guys sticking it out with me as we just went through the busiest part of the year with Highlander Racing. And boy, did it come to quite a crazy end for that busy stretch right there. There is a lot to talk about, not only in this video, but just in the broad world of sprint car racing. Ever since I last made a video, a lot of things have happened. I'm going to try and cover those things over the next 4 or so days before I head out to Eagle Raceway next week for the Eagle Nationals. So I will have a video coming out every day up until then. But today I felt like the main storyline has got to be to talk about last night's feature winner at 141 Speedway during the Roto-Rooter Midweek Series with Kubota Highlander Racing, and that is, of course, Travis Arens, who on the pre-event odds when it comes to betting on the winner of the race, he wasn't even available. You literally could not put money on Travis Arens because it was such a long shot for him to win this race. I mean, just going into it, I think that, going into it, you thought there'd be a couple more IRA guys showing up, not only to 141, but to Red Cedar as well. But that series, it is a working man series. These guys have jobs, they have big families or whatever, and they cannot get work off to go to these races in the middle of the week. And some of them, like Red Cedar was a long ways out of the way. That is not typical IRA country. And so we didn't get a ton of IRA guys, but we did get Travis Arens, and he put on one whale of a show here to get the win. I think, 29 cars signed in. And in qualifying, it fell off a cliff in qualifying. Travis Arens went out there, second car to qualify, and he was second quick overall, which was definitely a surprise. But when you could see, some of the cars that went out late, they were not able to put up good lap times. So Arens benefited from that, right? And then he was able to hang on in the heat race. He started fourth, finished fourth there, went to the dash, and then in the feature, coasted around, fifth, sixth, seventh there for a majority of the race, and then had a couple of things go his way with Tyler Courtney getting spun out. And then, on the restarts, he would choose the bottom every single time. Even if he was starting in second, he would choose the bottom and start behind the leader, essentially starting in the third spot, allowing Tanner Thorson to take the front row. But Arens, he was not to be denied in this thing. He drove by Bill Baylog, a guy that is the king of this racetrack at 141. Going into that race, Baylog had a 2.1 average finish in 19 races, 13 wins, and Travis Arens drove right by him. And so today I wanted to go in and just kind of talk about this driver a little bit and I tried to portray it on the broadcast last night and try to get across that this is a huge deal. This is not something that happens all the time. We might see it once every 4 or 5 years, a guy like this coming in and winning a national touring race. And it's not like it was a regular race, right? He won 26 grand in this race for the Race Redeem Foundation event. So Travis Arens, the driver out of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, 34 years old when he took the checkered flag last night. As far as I know, he is still 34 years old. But and what's crazy, he's 34, and he has not been racing a sprint car for all that long. Last night was his first ever national touring sprint car start. He's never ran with the Outlaws. He never obviously ran with Highlander Racing before. He had ran 3 All-Star Circuit of Champions events, the old All-Stars in 2023. He made the show twice. I think his best run was 14th, right? Just nothing like that would point to you and say, that guy is going to win a national touring race someday, let me tell you, right? It wasn't like an incredible run. Those 3 races with the All-Stars, missed one of the shows. But he also has 2 career IRA victories, both of them coming at the Plymouth Dirt Track, which is where the Outlaws are racing at tonight, which is where Travis Arens is racing at tonight, making his World of Outlaws debut. But he does have those 2 IRA wins, which is pretty impressive, considering this guy he has only been running a sprint car for about 3 years on a quote-unquote full-time basis. We'll get more into that here in just a moment. But this guy, he started out in 4-cylinder, mini stocks, Hornets, some people call them shit boxes, whatever you want to say. 4 cylinders. He won the championship in that car at 141 Speedway. Then he drove a sport mod for a while. He also won the championship in that. And then he moved up to a 360 sprint car with is it the MSA? Is it the Minnesota Sprint Association or the Midwest Sprint Association? It's a 360 kind of regional touring series. He also won the championship in that as well. So this guy has been successful in every one of these cars that he has driven in. Championships in all 3 of those divisions, and only been running a 410 for about since 2020, I think. Last night was just his 66th ever 410 sprint car start. And the most he's ever had in one single season was 28 starts in 2023. He ran full-time with the IRA that year, ended up third in points, did get one of those wins we talked about earlier on. So 28 starts is the most this guy has ever ran in one single season. Before that, he ran like 4, and he ran 6, and then he ran 1. 1 year he didn't run any races at all. So this year, I think that was maybe his 8th or 9th race of the season was last night. And so, I mean, this just kind of came out of nowhere, right? And I'm trying to put this into perspective because we talk about who could be the biggest upset winner of all time. And when you put all the different things together that I'm talking about here, it's hard not to think that Travis Arens is the biggest upset of all time with any national touring series. I'll talk more about that and some of the other guys down here in just a moment. But last night, that win was worth $26,000 for the Race Redeem Foundation event. So it wasn't like it was a regular $12,000 to win show with High Limit or the Outlaws or whatever. $26,000, the most that he had ever made in one single season of racing. The whole season, he got $21,000 in 2023 when he ran those 28 races that year. So in one single race, he's already won more than he did in his only, one of his main full-time years of driving a sprint car. I think his total earnings for the year is up to like 35 grand or something. Not incredible amount of money, right? But for a guy that, he mentioned in all the interviews last night with Jeremy Elliott, Brian Walker after the checkers, Tony Laporta down in the victory lane thing and all that stuff. I mean, this week he's got to go back to work. He's got his kid with him, right? And then he's got to go drive to, I think their IRA's running at Peevely, and they're running somewhere else, right? I mean, this is a guy that works hard to get his car on the racetrack. And the whole celebration of him jumping in the pond and the whole thing with the fire suit, he couldn't get a fire suit because he had to get a new engine in the car, all this stuff, right? I mean, that is just gotta be the feel-good story of 2025, bar none. I don't care what happens for the rest of the year. This is the feel-good story of the year in sprint car racing. And last I checked, it's only June. Right. So, I mean, this is a huge deal. He also joins, this is an interesting stat. He joins Trey Starks as the only driver to win in their high limit racing debut. Trey Starks did it last year at the Grays Harbor Raceway in Washington. And, when Trey Starks did that, I mean, sure, it was a surprise, but Trey Starks is a accomplished driver. He's won a prelim night at the Knoxville Nationals. He started on the pole of the Kings Royal. He's won races in Central PA, right? So it didn't come as like a shock that Trey Starks won. That is not the case with Travis Arens. He has 2 career sprint car wins, and they both came at one racetrack at Plymouth Dirt Track. And I mean, that's it. And this guy has 66 starts. So crazy stuff there. And down here at the bottom, I mean, is this the biggest upset of all time? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. A couple of examples I have down here at the bottom of the board for some people that won races with the Outlaws that maybe could rival this. TJ Stutz, obviously last year, that was a big one with the Outlaws at the Williams Grove Speedway. I believe that was during the Morgan Cup. Travis Jacobson is one that gets brought up a lot. I mentioned it on the broadcast last night. That took place at the Skagit Speedway up in Washington. Jacobson before that had ran, whenever the Outlaws came to Skagit, he was always there racing, ran Skagit a lot. But like I said, Travis Arens, never even seen the Outlaws before, never even seen High Limit before, right? Also, Bill Bryan Jr. is one that got brought up a lot last night as well. He got a win with the Outlaws at Lincoln back in 1989, was it? Or 98 or 89, one of those two. I had actually never even heard of him before until a couple people had mentioned it in tweets and stuff. But Bill Bryan Jr., he could be one of them. Carson Short, I would say, is a huge upset when he got the Outlaw win at Hopstadt and Tri-State Speedway in Hopstadt, Indiana. Aaron Crocker Everham when she won at Tulare, the Thunderbolt Raceway over there. And then Jason Statler, he got a win at Santa Maria back in 1999. I actually went back and looked at his stats for that year. I think he ran like almost 20 Outlaw shows that year, only made the show 2 times and was able to win one of them. So Jason Statler, the old 00, wish he was still racing, but he's on the board as well for his win at Santa Maria all those years ago. So I don't know. It's up to you guys, right? I mean, it's up to your discretion. Who do you think is the biggest upset ever? In my opinion, and it's not recency bias. It's none of that, right? I mean, just looking at the broad picture of this guy, of this team, of everything that's involved here, I think he is far and away the biggest upset we've ever seen when it comes to national touring sprint car racing. I can be wrong. I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the comments section telling me I'm wrong, and I would love to read those comments. So Let me know your thoughts down below. Also, I wanted to mention this. I mean, last night at 141, or at Eldora, excuse me, at Eldora, they had the Dirt Late Model Dream going on, and it rained out. And I was told that when that rained out, pretty much everybody that was watching that came over to the High Limit Racing broadcast and watched this race. It may have been the highest viewed race of all time in High Limit Racing history. And Travis Arens was the winner. Absolutely incredible stuff. Social media was a buzz. That was so cool to see. The pictures of him with the guitar and him jumping the pond. It was just an incredible scene over there. The fans were going bananas. It was awesome. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think about Travis Arens? Is he the biggest upset ever? Let me know your thoughts. Also, hit like, hit subscribe, and thanks for sticking around. We're going to get back to the grind here on YouTube. Just been gone for a really long time. Appreciate all of your support, and we'll talk to you guys again here soon.